now going to start the presentation. We're now going to start the presentation. If you'd like to start.
Good morning and welcome to Nottingham. We are EnactusNTU, and Nottingham is a rich city with rich history and culture, from Robin Hood to the world-famous lace industry. And we're proud to represent one of its two universities, Nottingham Trent. My name is Trish.
I'm Dave.
I'm Katie.
I'm Liana. And on technology we have Teju.
So, when this new academic year began in September of 2018, after a long summer which had seen the majority of last year's team graduate or unable to continue, there was only one member left of EnactusNTU. With a seemingly impossible challenge ahead, the first priority of our last standing member was to recruit as quickly as possible.
With the help of our university business advisor and our Enactus program improvement manager Tom, we have so far been able to come up with the employability membership to the people where it currently stands at 50.
All key executive officer roles have been filled and the key positions in our current project have been assumed, allowing us to develop the operations and further the progression for our project.
Going forward, we have established the need for better planning in terms of a yearly handover. So we've already put motions in place to ensure that this year's goes smoothly to avoid having similar challenges to the previous year.
We've sought guidance from Enactus graduates, including former project leaders and presidents. And although communication has been slow at times, a lot of useful information has been gained from this.
We got involved in the Enactus training weekend in Doncaster, and for a new team like ours, the training weekend served as a 2-day period of inspiration and learning. Discussions with other Enactus teams helped us plan the year ahead to a large extent. Ideas on recruitment, member retention, and project stories, all of these have been kept in mind so that we can implement and adapt them to EnactusNTU.
A direct effect of the training weekend was to secure the committee positions. While before there were some uncertainty regarding the absorption of the knowledge, after the training weekend was over, we got to know more about EnactusNTU exactly, and the committee positions were filled too.
Loaded with fresh ideas and new connections from our weekend away, we were able to begin working on our impact for the year, as well as have a committee that was well aware of what Enactus truly was about.
With an influx of new members, there was a growing excitement towards new ideas. However, the highlight of this year has been to just focus on one group project rather than focusing on other projects and making the team do things by stressing it.
By putting the whole team's energy into this one project, we have been able to achieve a lot more and have the project set up to make more of an impact than it ever was before.
So this year, it made more sense to continue just one project, the core project. This project focuses on coffee and recycling. The project was already started in the previous year, and hence we had experience with it.
The core project involves creating a body scrub using biodegradable coffee grounds, along with other natural ingredients in order to create an ethical exfoliator. Last month, we ran a group session in which we all got involved in making the product as a trial run, and then this resulted in the production of around 7 tons. With these, we plan on using them in an upcoming focus group. The product itself already has certification and is nearly ready for market.
The core body scrub is made using a range of natural ingredients, including shea butter and coconut oil, and the method is relatively easy to replicate in a home environment using just a mixing bowl and an oven.
We are initially going to produce the product with 2 distinct flavors, that is the peppermint and the orange, helping our product to stand alongside its ethical and organic characteristics. The ingredients and the manufacturing process come in at a cost of around $219 per unit, including the packaging, and we are looking to sell the product at $799.
Despite the healthy margin of over 300%, we are still looking for ways to reduce the cost so that we can generate a higher revenue and include the revenue for other operations as well as progression of the project further.
The British Coffee Association suggests that we can consume over 95 million cups of coffee every single day in the UK alone. This large amount of coffee waste, about 1,000 tons to be exact. And this means that we have to change the way we produce and consume. So by reusing coffee grounds, we're creating a product that means we'll reduce the amount of waste going into landfill every day.
We have established a link with Nottingham's Wired Cafe, which will supply us with a constant source of coffee grounds, recycled coffee grounds. We thought it was essential to get this key partnership put together, as it is set to be a fundamental element in the full project success.
To aid the promotion of our new project, we have created posters and redesigned the packaging, breathing new life into our growing brand.
Allowing this project the opportunity to know more about the natural cosmetics markets, we are allowing them to set an example for an industry that is set to reach £41 billion by 2027. And the group that we are looking forward to work with is Groundworks.
Based on Nottingham, Groundworks values are similar to our own and include environment, increasing employability, promoting community development, and working with young people and children.
The course body scrub works towards UN Sustainable Development Goals 12 and 14 in its key practice of recycling waste coffee grounds. This means that we will also be able to reduce the amount of plastic exfoliators making their way into our marine habitats, for example microbeads, which are now unfortunately illegal.
Aside from the reusing aspect of coal, we also want to involve a group of beneficiaries in its production. This is in order to provide them with practical business skills and eventually to hand the enterprise over for them to run themselves.
We have faced many challenges this year, namely in communicating with previous students for information of the project. But with these problems behind us, we want to make sure that this social enterprise is future-proof, and so we don't come across these issues again.
Allowing this group to learn about the project, we are allowing them a vast opportunity for the market and hence allowing them to work according to their tailored program. Once we have secured a group of beneficiaries to work with, we plan on tailoring the project to suit their needs and to match what they want to gain from the end project. Whether that be environmental education or business skills workshop or just a place to relax and do crafts. The program will be altered according to the initial focus group that will be conducted.
Along with this, by the end of this academic year, we plan to have finalized the manufacturing and branding process of the product, which will allow us to start marketing and selling from the summer.
The aim of the core body scrub is to empower beneficiaries, so that's why we believe that Groundworks is the perfect match. So once we have established a long-term and strong relationship with them, we'll be able to also impact Sustainable Development Goals 8 and 10 by providing employment as well as work experience for Nottingham's most vulnerable and disadvantaged members of the community.
The value of having CORE as a project for EnactusNTU is that it will enable all our new members, which is the majority of the team, to learn what Enactus is all about. We hope that we'll be able to take the lessons that Enactus project has taught us and we can develop it in the future projects.
Looking to the future, we must first learn from the past. With the disadvantages that we faced at the beginning of this year, we have also been turning our attention to this year's handover to ensure that we're not left in that same position.
We have had numerous recruitment drives throughout the year, and the fact that all the 5 members of the presentation team today are new members is a testament to our recruiting success.
We've already began looking at various sales channels for our core body scrub, including Enactus Marketplace, our university campus, as well as we already mentioned, Wired Cafe and other local shops.
We have communicated more with our university's student union to engage a wider range of students, and we have also communicated with the course leaders that we don't have the representatives from already.
In comparison to last year, where the team was made up of all business school students, this year we have members that read degrees ranging from computer science to horticulture. And we're looking to expand even more, as we've already seen the creative advantages that this diversity brings.
With a growing team, we have been able to participate in other competitions throughout the year, including, fortunately, a Unilever competition. So for that, a team of 3 had the opportunity to go down to their headquarters in Leatherhead, where we had a day of mini seminars and workshop. We heard from some Unilever brands, including Dove, Halls, as well as Ben & Jerry's, about the various campaigns that they have been running in the community.
We were then given an amazing opportunity by SERV to come up with our own campaign over the next 6 weeks, based on SERV's targets, which is to increase the UK's happiness index through generosity and social support by spreading positivity in an often negative world.
We also have to incorporate SERV's core ideals, which are positivity, optimism, and empowerment. On the day, we had the chance to brainstorm and receive feedback on the campaign. It was also a great chance to network with the employees at Unilever and also with the different students from different universities of Enactus all across from the UT.
We are excited to be currently working on an idea centered around making laundry accessible to the homeless. We aim to do this using mobile laundromats.
In regards to future projects, we're looking to kickstart these in the following year. So we already have a team working on exciting opportunities already.
A group of team members are developing ideas for a brand new international project which will see us impacting Africa once again. Although this project is in its early stages, it will look at working with skilled traditional craftspeople in Congo. This idea of the project is to aid survivors of sexual violence during the ongoing war using the concept of art therapy.
So finally, with an injection of new members, new ideas, and new energy, EnactusNTU has seen real progress this year in the development of solid foundations for us to build on in the years to come. Next year, we envisage even bigger things, and we look forward to expanding our impact further than ever before.
We are EnactusNTU, and thank you for listening.
EnactusNTU, that was 12 minutes and 16 seconds. So I'd just like to open the floor now to questions from the judges, if you can try and keep them nice and concise. So afterwards we will give feedback following.
How did you set your price point of £7.99?
We essentially started by calculating what would currently, how much it costs us to make the product, and then we just we kind of thought of a margin that would be that we would be happy with, and we pretty much got to £7.99.
Also looking at the products sold by the competitors in the same range. So we set the price so that it could be competitive, so the consumers would prefer to buy our product over the competitor's product overall.
From that, how does your price of £7.99 relate to the competitor? So you are middle of the group, you at the lower end or the higher end?
We are at the lower range. So the other competitors that are supplying the same product are around £11. So we have kept the margin lower so that when we can get the profit to increase the projects and other further developments, as well as the consumers will get the same product at a lower range. That do the organic ingredients, the beneficial health ingredients, and also the beneficiaries that would be involved in the project.
Could you just break down the costs for £1.33 for production and packaging? Or just roughly, like how you make them?
So basically there are organic products involved. So there's oils, essential oils. There are the 2 fragrances that you mentioned about, the peppermint and the orange. Then there's shea butter.
Coconut oil, red clay. Obviously the coffee grounds, but the coffee grounds are free because they just give us their recycled ones at the end of the day, essentially.
And salt.
And salt, yes, sea salt as well. I think, off the top of my head, I think that's all of them, right?
Yeah.
So.
What proportion of the product is actually coffee grounds? What proportion of the product is actually the coffee? What percentage of the product's the coffee?
To be completely honest with you, we've kind of been changing we have an ingredient list as in like a proper recipe. We're kind of trying to follow that. Obviously that has kind of been altered and changed throughout the years. So we don't have a particular percentage exactly of how much it is. I think in the original recipe it's around 50% of it is recycled coffee grounds or something of that sort. What gives it the scrubby, I guess, texture to it is the salt. So the salt with the coffee together, that's kind of what makes it a scrub.
And is the container you're using also recyclable, to hold the product?
Yeah, it
So,
is.
yes.
It's to an extent, so there are like a range of products. So it's like the product can be recycled, degradable stuff. So the one that we are using, the container, is recyclable. Yeah.
Thank you.
And just to follow on that, we are also kind of looking at changing the container as well. So we're looking for a more cost-effective alternative that is also obviously recyclable.
So, what size is the product, and how long would you expect it to last people that use it?
Yeah, so the container is 100 milliliters. So the product that will be produced will be over 100 milliliter, and the expiry date that you said would be around 2 months, I guess.
I think it's a year.
It was a year,
That's
but
what it is. Yeah.
yeah.
Andrew?
Guys, I have a question about your beneficiaries. What's the plan for this project in terms of how are you going to improve people's lives?
So it's a bit of a story with this. When CORE actually started a few years ago, it was thought as the beneficiaries that they kind of thought about at first were women, so vulnerable women. Now throughout the years, what we've noticed at the beginning of this year when we started working on the project again, is that it didn't really work with them, to be completely honest. It wasn't anyone's particular fault, it's just that they weren't the group that we were looking for and that they would have been most beneficial to. So what we did at the beginning of the year, we went through a list of different types of charities that we would like, or we thought that would be able to work with. And I think we decided at that point on charities that help people with any sort of disability. However, we've got into contact with a lot of them and we haven't really had many responses. So that's kind of how we got to Groundworks. We just kind of expanded, I guess, our horizon from simply charities that deal with vulnerable people with disabilities to pretty much any charity that would be interested. And then we've kind of turned the project into a bit of a more flexible approach so that we can alter it based on the charities that would be interested in working with us on this. So that's how we got to Groundworks.
So that's the beneficiary group. How are you going to improve their lives?
So it would be, essentially we want to get them involved in the production process and the selling process. So it's business skills that they would be getting, work experience, volunteering opportunities, which perhaps what we thought would be the case would be that perhaps they don't have access to a lot of opportunities in that sense. So that's kind of where we come in. We want to provide them with business skills and work experience.
What's the sort of long-term plan for the business and what's your exit strategy? So how are you going to make sure that it's sustainable once you guys leave university?
So basically, as few of the students will leave the university, some might graduate or go for a placement or something. So there will definitely be other students taking up on the same project. So the project is going to be continued. But overall, we are also thinking that if the beneficiaries group that we're working with are potential enough, then we can hand over the project to them so that they can run it, they can earn by themselves, and it will be just a business and just an earning opportunity overall.
Does anyone else have any questions for the team?
Guys, a question about your project partners. Have you got any form of agreement, memorandum of understanding in terms of what you're both going to be doing?
Do you mean with our beneficiaries?
Yeah, your project partners.
So basically, we have emailed them about what the project is, and we have got their, like, they got a basic idea, but they want to go into more depth and they want to have a formal conversation. So they have progressed it to a later meeting. So we are still looking into that.
And you're obviously spoke about so you was working towards groundworks at the moment, but then you also spoke about wanting sort of other beneficiaries as well. Are they aware that you're looking for other beneficiaries and you want to bring in beneficiaries different?
I wouldn't say we're looking for any beneficiaries. I mean, if it works out well with Groundworks, we're more than happy to stick with them. I think it was just a matter of before we actually got to Groundworks, we were pretty much open to, well, we reached out to a lot of charities essentially. But if this relationship actually settles properly, then we're more than happy to just stick with them.
You talked about having access to the ingredients and the capability to build the product at home in a mixing bowl. What's your capacity to build them? How many can you build?
So according, like on batch, it depends. Like the number of orders we take, the intake the consumers are. So we haven't really thought about it because we haven't really started selling it. So it depends on the response. What response do we get? So we start the production at that level of scale. So it's all about the response that we get from the consumers.
And also obviously from Groundworks, sort of or whatever charity we end up working with, their sort of ability and capacity, obviously we need more, I guess, if that makes sense. So us and the people that we're working with that we're impacting.
But also we had the tester day where we made it as part of one of our meetups, and there was about 6 of us. Yeah, and we made enough for 1 and a bit tubs in about 30 minutes at most.
Are you worried if that people could make this product themselves if everything's available? Because I think you said that it's ingredients are readily available. Are you worried that there's therefore potential that people could make it themselves cheaper?
I mean, I guess that would be a concern for any sort of, especially natural ingredient type product in general. But I will say, you know, we obviously have to order the raw materials in. You know, I don't know how many people actually go on a website to buy sweet almond oil and coarse sea salt. I mean, obviously there might be some people who actually just prefer to make their own products, but I think for the general population, it would be probably something that if they see it on the shelf, they think, oh, it's organic, you know, it's homemade.
Improving people's lives.
Yeah, and it's also obviously it has all this impact behind it. I think it would be a good marketing point for it.
Okay, a couple more questions.
So you said that it took 7 of you to make one product.
No.
Oh, sorry.
7 of us made 7 different.
We had made like little glasses, like it was
You
like
wanna show the
plastic glasses.
picture?
Yeah.
Oh, but all those little pots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all those little glasses we.
Yeah, but it's enough for about 1 tub, 1 and a bit tubs. So we made different.
So you're aiming for people to make, like a charity to take it and make it themselves and then sell it on, or are you going to make it and then they sell it?
Priorly, we tried it, so we're gonna talk to them and see if the beneficiaries, whatever the beneficiaries are available. So we're gonna teach them how to make them, and obviously they can take over.
Guys, you mentioned the natural ingredients, but what testing have you done or need to do if you were to sell this to the general public?
So basically we have got an EU certification. We've got a certificate like health and hygiene certificate that we're already certified for the product. So it's safe for use and it's already tested.
Does that include skincare allergies? So is it safe to use on the face as well as the body, or people with sensitive skin or eczema?
So she used it herself. So, you know.
I'm not sure in terms of the certification. I haven't seen it personally, so I'm not able to tell you exactly what it says on it. But from what I know, it's fully certified against allergies as well, so it can be used on the face, on the body, anything like that.
Okay, I think there. Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. So if you'd like to grab some chairs and sit at the front.